In today's video, we're going to talk about international students and the kind of cities that they should choose to go and study in England. And we are looking at also what would benefit you, because where you're going to choose to study, you're going to live in that city. And if you choose some obscure place, you might struggle. So let's have a conversation about it, because more than one occasion, I get the conversation coming to me and people saying, I regret choosing this place. I regret not coming to study in a different city. I regret this city that I live in. And particularly, one thing that I've learned is nothing to do with the university itself sometimes. It's more about where they are living, the city that they chose to go and study in. So today, let's talk about it deeply. And I'll give you some alternatives. I'll expand it on it for you and let you know what sort of some cities that would help you settle in and some that would probably not be so good for you. My number one criteria for universities and places that I would always recommend for international students is always about the affordability to stay there. How vibrant is the place? Are there activities for you to do, for you to settle in? How difficult is it for you to find your local food? Because, yeah, granted, you might want to eat the United Kingdom with food and all that stuff and integrate yourself. But at the same point in time, especially if you come from somewhere like Ghana, Nigeria, you want that plantain, don't you? You want that palm oil. You want that stuff to be able to fill at home. So those are things that I'm going to consider. And also, the other thing is you need to be able to work. So if you go and live in some obscure place, then how are you going to find work? How are you going to be able to survive? Because as a student, you need to live. You need to go up and about. Even if you've got a scholarship, you need to be able to get out there and enjoy the country a little bit. You can't depend solely on your scholarship. So those are the criteria that I'm going to use to be able to decide or recommend these cities for you. London would be good if you're financially stable and you've got that backing. Then I wouldn't say don't go there. But let's look at other alternatives, because as you've seen in my previous video that I've just shared, I talked about living in London and all that stuff. The link is in the description, so if you want to go watch it, then do so. But I wouldn't recommend London as your first place of going to study. There are brilliant universities, University College London, Metropolitan University, all sort of universities that are there that can help you, but not your first choice. So let's look at other cities. The number one city that I would recommend for you would be Manchester. Manchester is big, is vibrant, it has different people from different backgrounds in there. And also, in terms of finding your food, you would always find your local food in Manchester. You would always find your kind of people from wherever, especially from my African international students. You would always find your people from Nigeria, Ghana, Uganda, Zimbabwe, everywhere. You can find them in Manchester. Also, because it's really big, you can easily find work to do as well. And there's a lot of activities that you can do to be able to challenge yourself and go through that phase of depression or anything that you would encounter in moving to a new city. The other thing that I would talk about with Manchester is it has two good universities, and I think other universities around that area. So you can always consider that, but always do your research. I always advise people that don't just let the university lead you, because sometimes the fact that they are offering you a cheaper tuition fee and everything else, it tells you there's cheap things come expensive sometimes. So let's move on to the next city that I would recommend. In England, according to research, one of the best universities that you would go to would be Portsmouth University, and it has the best town for students. Portsmouth never sleeps, so because the students are always there. Even when it's vacation and you would think that students would go home, nah, they're still there. It's 24/7. It's alive. Portsmouth is beautiful. It's nice, and it's not far from London. So if you need to commute to London to go and see some friends, family, and everything else, or even if you get a job offer in London, it's easy to get to. Also, there are a lot of job opportunities in Portsmouth itself. It's a big city, so you can always find your people there. In terms of finding your African food or Asian food or anything else like that, you can always find them in Portsmouth. So I would recommend looking at University of Portsmouth or some other universities around that area as well. Brighton is not so far from Portsmouth as well, and Brighton is also really good. and it's also not far from London. So that is the third place that I would recommend. The other place that I would recommend, I know most of them are based on the south of England, and the reason why most of my recommendations are in the south is purely because it's not too far from London. Those cities are big enough. It's cheaper compared to London, and you get all that you want as well. And if you need to go to London to explore and have fun, see your people, that's fun. So that means the 4 cities that I would definitely recommend in the south are Brighton, Portsmouth, Southampton, and Bournemouth. I'm a bit biased. I live in Bournemouth. It's beautiful out here, so I would always recommend that as well. Southampton is very big, and it's got a lot of Africans there. It's got a lot of Asians there. It's got a lot of international people, and it's got a lot of job opportunities as well. If you are into the marine stuff or you work in different organizations, you can always find something in Southampton that fits your job desires and stuff like that. And it's not too far from London. It's only an hour away. So yeah, definitely look into that. The other city in the north that I would also recommend would probably be Birmingham. Birmingham has got different types of universities. It's got different universities. It's also got really good culture. For the Asian community, it's big. For African community, it's big. It's got everything to offer. It's affordable, really affordable, and there are a lot of job opportunities in Birmingham. Loads of them. Some of my colleagues that I work with actually live in Birmingham, so I would always recommend it. Apart from that, it's also not so far from London, and it's not so far from anywhere else. Birmingham is literally somewhere in the middle of the country, but it's not. It's technically classed as up north, so it's one of the places that I would recommend. So if you're looking for universities around Birmingham, yes, then definitely check out those places around there, and you would probably find something. If you find a university around Birmingham or close to Birmingham that you would live there, that's not too bad. And when I say close to Birmingham, I'm not recommending Coventry. Nah, I've got nothing against Coventry, but it's dead. So don't do it. Don't go there. Okay, if you live in Coventry and you think that I'm probably not being fair to you, let me know in the comments. But I think it's dead. I've been there a few times and I would not recommend it. It's a university. The university itself is good though. Yeah, I know I know someone that actually did some good course there and stuff like that. And she was really smart. So yeah, the university is good, but the town, no, not so much. I know some smart students that ended up going to Aberdeen. Aberdeen University is one of the good ones, but Aberdeen is far in the north. It's in Scotland. It's not so boring. It's nice, slightly big enough. But if you can get something in Edinburgh, I would advise you to probably go to Edinburgh. Or Glasgow has got a lot of Africans and Asians and a lot of foreigners there. You always want to be around your people so that it will be easy to find your foodies. It will be easy to make friends. So Glasgow is always recommendable as well. So those are the 3 cities in Scotland that I would recommend for you, which is Aberdeen, Glasgow, and Edinburgh. By the way, there are some honorable mentions here that I probably need to mention. Bristol University is one. Bristol is a big city and it's nice. It's not too far from Wales. It's not too far from everything else, and it's vibrant and it has a lot to offer as well. In terms of the job market in Bristol, I think it's really good. And to be fair, if you're going to do data science course, Bristol University is the best place to go to. But apart from that, don't really know much about Bristol. University of Bath or Bath University is one of the best. But unfortunately, Bath is really quiet and really it's nice in the summer and it's nice to visit. I remember I met some Africans there when I went to visit Bath quite recently, about a year ago, and I was impressed because they said they were shocked they barely have any Africans living there. But when you go there, it's really nice. So if you are looking at just the academic side of things and you're just going to finish your course and you're going to relocate to another city and all that stuff, and if that's you, then that's you. Hey, I would never fault you. But if that's what you're looking for, then yeah, look into that. They are always reviewing those scores, top 25 universities in England. you get the honorable mentions in there, like University of Surrey, which is in Guildford. It's not too far from London either, so that's really good. And in Surrey, you could always live in somewhere like Basingstoke or Reading or somewhere like that and go to those universities. So yeah, if you are a foreign student and you're coming to England, I would recommend that you do your research. Don't just be led by the school itself. Do your research. See where you're going to, see where you're going to live. Find out the cost of living. Find out the cost of prices in terms of housing and compare it to other places, because all those things will come into play when it comes to the time that you are actually settling in. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about anything else, just let me know in the comments. Let me know if you have moved to the United Kingdom to go to school in a different city that I didn't mention, or if you live in a city that I mentioned and your opinion differs from mine, let me know. And also, I'm more than happy for you to share your opinion so that other people would learn from it in the comments. I hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you very much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share as well. And stay on this channel and we will grow together. Cheers.